Yechi Melech HaMashiach. My name is EDERY. So I've just looked at the almost 1 million views interview of Piers Morgan, I believe, from England, Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, and Muhammad Hijab, I think his name is. And of course, they're raging debate and they're talking about different topics. Of course, I would like to put something in that I did not hear mentioned, and I think it's very important for Muslims to understand. The father of Islam, his name is Yishmael. Yishmael is the father of Islam. He is the son of Avraham the prophet. Now, Yishmael's mother was Hagar. She was a maidservant of Avraham Avinu, of Avraham the prophet. So, if Hagar was a maidservant of Avraham, and her son and Avraham Avinu's son together is Yishmael, so then, if Yishmael is the son of Hagar, then, and Hagar is a servant of Avraham, whatever a servant woman owns, including her children, belongs to the master Avraham. And the moment that Yishmael was jealous of Yitzchak, the son of Avraham from another mother, from Sarah, Avraham Avinu's main wife, so the second Yishmael tries to kill Yitzchak multiple times, and he is sent away together with his mother Hagar from Avraham Avinu's house because of attempted murder of Yitzchak. So he also loses, once someone goes into if a slave is involved in attempted murder, he loses his rights as a slave as well. So, Avraham Avinu sends away Ishmael. He did love him, but he can't have him next to his other son if the jealousy is eating him up and he wants to kill him. But right now you have to understand that today this issue is not a political issue. It's not a modern issue of land. It's not a question of the Zionist state. This is a tribal family issue. Yishmael is jealous that Yitzchak was born to the legitimate wife of Avraham Avinu. Till then he was getting attention. Every psychologist can tell you that if you have one kid and then the next kid that's born, you have to make sure that he doesn't hate the other kid for getting more attention. The newborn baby can be, punched or kicked by the older brother because he's jealous that the new baby is getting now more attention. This is the issue that we have with Yishmael. So, once you understand that halachically, according to Jewish law, Yishmael is property of the Avraham Avinu, the children of Israel. He is his servant son. And once the servant's son tries to kill the master's son, and he is exiled from the house, in that moment, this servant has no rights, and he still belongs to the master, but he does not have any rights under the master because he is ben mavet, a son of death, because he is sentenced to death for attempted murder. That is the status of the Palestinians. So anything they own, the Arab Muslim Palestinians, anything they own belongs initially to the Jewish people. Even if they are given land, it still belongs to the Jewish people. And after what happened on October 7, they lose their rights even as slaves or workers in today's modern language, or citizens as today's modern language. They are totally at the mercy of whatever their master will decide to do with them, up to death as well, including death, because they have lost their human rights by interfering with the Jewish people. Now, it doesn't matter that I'm an Orthodox religious Hasidic Jew, if I involve myself in crime, killing or whatnot, I'll also use my God-given human rights, and my blood will be free, because I have violated the laws. So too, if the Jewish Torah law is the law that is important to the Jewish people and to the Christians and to the Muslims, because without the Torah law, Christianity and Islam really means nothing. So then you have to understand that this whole discussion has to be focused in this direction. You have to understand the laws of the Torah, where Yishmael comes from, and how he needs to be addressed in the correct context. Okay? And of course, someone who has been condemned to death because of his own actions is going to try to, BS his way out of it, try to say that it's not exactly true. But at the end of the day, what else can he do? There's nothing else. The evidence is so obvious. Now, the Muslims don't like with the Torah, because in the Torah it says that Yishmael is a pere Adam, a wild person. So they don't like when the Torah says negative things about, Yishmael. However, what can we do that it's true? If you don't like what you see in the mirror, you have a choice to change that. We do know that Yishmael, towards the end of his life, has a moment of awakening, and he realizes his evil ways, and he changes his heart, and he does teshuvah. We see this in the fact that they go both together to bury their father, Avraham Avinu. So of course there is hope for the Muslim world, and we see this hope in the royal Saudi family, and we see this hope in the Orthodox Muslims that actually follow the Quran, not the radical terrorists. And of course we see this hope in all the Muslims that keep the 7 laws of Noah. So let's hope that there's a resolution to this war. Of course, there's 3 things the world stands on: din, which is justice; emet, which is truth; and only after that can you have shalom. If you try to make peace without justice and truth, you're going to get back the peace will not last. So, justice, truth, and only then peace. And as long as we're focused in that direction, and when we say justice, we mean the justice of the Torah, the halacha, the law of the Torah, as it is today, as it is followed by ultra-Orthodox Jews throughout the world. And when we say the truth, we mean the truth of the Torah as well. What is right, what is wrong. We have to go and look in the Torah. And then shalom, we're talking about peace in a way and with people that are looking for peace and capable of peace. If the trigger of Yishmael is that he kills and steals because he needs money, because he doesn't have wealth, then we can give him wealth and then he will stop to kill and steal. However, if his trigger to kill and steal is jealousy of someone else being successful, this means that when the entire world is finally going to find God and enter the times of the redemption, then those who are jealous and those who cannot control their hatred and do not have mind over heart and have not worked on their service of Hashem, they will see the good in the world and take that as a signal to continue doing evil. As we saw on October 7th, once we see that Israel is starting to negotiate with the Arab neighbors, like the Saudis, in order to create peace, then we see Hamas go out and start to kill. The same thing we saw in the desert, in the story of Amalek. The second the Jews leave Egypt and they're a free nation on their way to the Holy Land, Amalek comes and attacks them when they're tired and non-focused. So this is the nature of Amalek. He is jealous and he is consumed with hatred just because someone else is doing okay. There's no rationale, and that's why, even though the 70 nations correspond to 70 different character traits, evil character traits that will be resolved and fixed in the time of the redemption. Every single 70 of the 70 nations has a place in the world to come and a special character that they need to develop. However, the Amalek evil has to be totally destroyed and eradicated from the world, because, as we said earlier, once everyone's doing good, they're still going to be triggered to do evil. That's going to be their sign to do evil. They're not going to be looking to resolve their own character. They're just going to be looking to destroy all the good. So hopefully I made some sense. Hopefully you guys can study and read in the Bible. Of course, you can check our article on anti-Semitism, Yishmael, the son of Abraham, We have a special series. Of course, there's different kinds of anti-Semitism. There's the Christian anti-Semitism, which we experienced during the Crusades and during the Spanish Inquisition. There's the Muslim issue. There's also internal issues within the Jewish people. We have, the jealousy of the brothers of Yosef, which were ready to sell him or kill him. And we have the Erev Rav, which are the tag-along Egyptians to the Jewish people, and then they brought the Jews to sin in the golden calf. So we have different kinds of issues. Each of them has a different kind of remedy. Just like when you come to a doctor and you say, I'm not feeling well, you have to figure out why he's not feeling well, what exactly the remedy is. So hopefully there will be a resolution. I'm Yosef EDERY, a Sanhedrin advisor, Sanhedrin Initiative advisor here in the Holy Land. All the best.